Welcome to the world of stories. This is HRB Verse, where every story is real, heartfelt, and unforgettable. Subscribe now and become part of a journey you'll never forget. My sister attempted to ridicule my so-called pathetic job during Thanksgiving dinner. Instead, she unveiled my $12.4 million fortune, and my parents demanded a share. For years, my family saw me as a letdown. On Thanksgiving, the truth came out. I run a jewelry empire worth millions, and they couldn't handle it. I'm Julia, 38 years old, and for most of my life, I've been the overlooked daughter. You know the type. The child everyone calls fiercely independent, self-reliant, always sorting things out solo. That was me. Not because I was naturally built that way, but because no one ever left me a choice. My younger sister, Anna, arrived when I was 8. Born premature and delicate, the doctors weren't sure she'd make it through her first week. I can still picture myself in the hospital corridor, peering through the NICU glass at this tiny figure in an incubator, while my mom gripped a nurse's arm, tears streaming. From that moment, Anna became the family's son, and I faded into the background. It began subtly. If I caught a cold, even a minor sniffle, I was whisked off to Grandma Carol's to keep Anna safe. Every single time. By age 10, I had a packed duffel bag ready in my closet. My parents called it protecting Anna. I called it banishment. At 12, I taught myself to play Bridge Over Troubled Water on the piano for a school talent show, practicing nightly for months. The evening of the performance, Anna had a slight fever, barely 100 degrees. No one showed up. 2 weeks later, the whole family attended Anna's flute recital, where she fumbled through hot cross buns for 4 minutes and forgot the ending. They cheered like she was a prodigy. That was the routine. My accomplishments were dismissed. Anna's smallest efforts were celebrated like miracles. Still, I kept pushing. I earned straight A's, started working at 16, and figured out how to apply for college on my own. I got into Yale with a full scholarship. My parents' response? "That's nice, Julia. Anna's cheerleading tryouts are next week." I ate instant noodles in my room while they took Anna to a chain restaurant to celebrate her junior varsity cheer spot. It stung, of course it did. But that pain turned into drive. If no one would cheer for me, I'd cheer for myself. I worked harder, learned faster, and mastered everything from financial aid forms to side hustles during college. After graduation, there was no "we're proud of you," just a text. "Can you come home? Anna's dorm furniture doesn't fit and we need help." I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I kept moving forward. Eventually, I landed a job at an auction house dealing with estate sales. Most people thought it was dull. Old furniture, vintage jewelry, forgotten heirlooms. I saw potential. As a kid, exiled to Grandma Carol's for every cough, I'd play with her costume jewelry, sorting and cataloging it in a notebook. I thought it was just a childish pastime. It wasn't. It was destiny. One day, while sifting through what others assumed was worthless costume jewelry, I noticed a brooch. Art Deco, understated, but something about its weight and craftsmanship stood out. I dove into research, even paid for a specialized course. I presented my findings to my boss, who dismissed me until I provided proof. That brooch sold for $47,000. Suddenly, people paid attention. Within 2 years, I launched my own authentication business. It started small in a cramped office above a noodle shop reeking of stir-fry. I worked tirelessly, often skipping meals, but my reputation grew. In the luxury world, privacy is power, and clients trusted me. Today, my company has offices in 3 cities, employs 14 people, and has been featured in Forbes. Under a business name my family would faint over. I'm worth just over $12 million, but my family, they still thought I worked in a musty antique shop. I never corrected them. At first, it was simpler to let them assume. Later, it became amusing, like I was living a double life. By day, I handled million-dollar auctions in Hong Kong. By night, at family dinners, I was Julia, the one who sells old junk. Anna loved mocking my dead-end job. I even sent my parents $7,000 a month anonymously when I learned they were struggling with Anna's grad school loans. They thought I was barely scraping by to help them. Anna claimed she inspired our family's generosity. I stayed silent. Then came Thanksgiving, when the truth erupted, not by my choice. It all started with a laptop, a smirk, and a colossal misstep. Thanksgiving in our family was always tense. Forced smiles, hidden grudges served alongside cranberry sauce, and Anna acting like she invented family unity. 2 weeks prior, Mom called, sobbing about her back pain, claiming a herniated disc made cooking for 20 impossible. I'd love to say I volunteered out of kindness, But honestly, I was tired of her overcooked turkey and clumpy mashed potatoes, blamed on everything from the oven to astrology. So I offered to handle it. "Mom, I'll get it catered," she protested. "We can't afford that, honey." I replied, "I've been saving up." Not entirely a lie, my savings account is robust, thanks to multi-million-dollar deals. I hired a top-tier catering company I'd used for corporate events. They didn't just cook, they crafted culinary art. Think sage-roasted vegetables, butternut squash, ravioli, and artisanal stuffing. It cost more than my parents thought I earned in months, but I didn't care. I was feeling generous and a bit mischievous. On Thanksgiving morning, I arrived early in a $3,000 cashmere sweater that could pass for thrift store chic. I brought my laptop to monitor a critical Hong Kong auction involving a rare Art Nouveau necklace. If my client won, I'd need to start authentication immediately. The food arrived perfectly, and guests raved over the cranberry relish. Anna predictably sniped, "Box stuffing, Julia. Mom's is way better." This from someone who once scorched instant noodles. I smiled, sipped wine worth more than her outfit, and watched everyone devour the meal while insisting it wasn't as good as Mom's. After dessert, I slipped into my old bedroom, unchanged since childhood, unlike Anna's thrice-renovated space, to check the auction. My laptop was open to auction dashboards, payment systems, and tabs showing my business's $4.2 million quarterly revenue, a $12.4 million account balance, and a pending $485,000 contract. Anna barged in no knock, claiming she needed my charger. Her eyes caught the screen and she froze. "What's this? Private work, Anna, close it." Her tone shifted from smug to sharp. "Is this for real?" Then came the smirk. "Let's show everyone what Julia's been up to." Before I could stop her, she snatched the laptop and strode to the dining room. Part of me could have tackled her, but another part thought, let them see. The room was packed, aunts, uncles, cousins, empty plates, and flowing wine. Anna plopped the laptop on the table like she was unveiling a masterpiece. "Time to see what Julia does in her little shop." She clicked the trackpad. Silence. Total eerie silence. You could hear the tick of the overpriced clock I'd gifted Mom, which she assumed was from a discount store. Eyes locked on the numbers. $12.4 million balance, $485,000 contract, $4.2 million revenue. Anna's face drained of color, then flushed, then turned sickly green. "This can't be real," she whispered. Mom called out, "What's wrong, sweetie?" Anna, sweating, stammered, "She's rich. Julia's rich." It was like a movie scene in slow motion, the air sucked out of the room. Mom laughed. "Don't be silly, Julia works at that antique store." I stood, smoothed my sweater, and took a breath. "Actually, Mom, I own one of the top jewelry authentication firms in the country. Those antique shop jokes? I authenticate pieces worth millions. My business, the one you never asked about, has offices in 3 cities. Forks clattered. Wine glasses wobbled. Dad choked on his drink. Aunt Kelly dropped her spoon. Uncle Pete coughed for a full minute. And then, just when I thought someone might say, "We're proud," Mom's face turned crimson. Her chair crashed backward. "You have millions and let us struggle." I blinked. "Struggle? I send you $7,000 every month." "While sitting on millions," she shrieked. "Your sister has loans, Julia." There it was, not pride, but entitlement. Anna started sobbing, clutching her $200 purse. "You lied to us, you betrayed us," Dad piled on. "We raised you, how could you be so selfish?" That's when I snapped. The dam broke. "Raised me. You sent me to grandma's every time I coughed. You missed every milestone, every award. You never saved a penny for my education but took loans for Anna's. And now you're mad I built something for myself?" Chaos followed. Yelling, accusations, Anna crying into her purse. The caterers served pie, looking like they regretted their jobs. I grabbed my laptop and my designer bag, Mom once called it a nice fake, and walked out. Behind me, Mom shouted about Anna's MBA and needing a new car. I drove home in my limited edition BMW, silent but smiling. The truth was finally out. I wish I could say I found peace after that Thanksgiving disaster, sipping wine in my quiet home like a serene movie heroine. But no, my phone lit up with 47 missed calls by midnight, then over 200 messages. First, "How dare you walk out?" Then, "We need to talk like adults." Then Mom's gem. "Your sister deserves part of your success." And the kicker, at 11:45 p.m., "I've contacted a realtor about homes in nicer areas." Like my wealth was their personal ATM. Anna, meanwhile, played the victim online, posting a novel-length Facebook rant about hidden wealth and betrayal, claiming she tried to help me escape my dead-end job. Comments poured in. "You're so strong, Anna, and that's so unfair." One even said, "Some people get greedy when they're rich." Anna claimed she'd given me career advice for years, her only advice. Sell bracelets on Etsy. Once, after I paid for brunch, the real chaos hit Monday. I walked into my sleek office, sunlight streaming through the windows, to find my receptionist, Megan, wide-eyed. "They're here." My parents and Anna sat in the reception lounge like they had a meeting booked. Anna clutched her purse like a lifeline. Mom wore pearls, Dad radiated fury. "Julia, honey," Mom started, "we had a family meeting." "Without me?" I asked. They ignored me. Dad said, "It's only fair you set up trust funds for everyone." Mom added, "Anna needs at least $2 million to start her life properly." Dad chimed in, "We're thinking of retiring. A beach house in Florida would be nice." I stared. "You're joking." Anna whined, "You have millions, that's nothing to you." I said slowly, "I've been sending you $7,000 a month." Mom snapped, "That's not enough. You owe us." There it was, "You owe us," not "we're proud." Just demands. "Owe you?" I said, trembling. "For what? Missing my birthdays, ignoring my graduation, banishing me for Anna's every sniffle?" Mom waved it off. "Don't be dramatic. We gave you everything." "No," I said, "I gave myself everything, and I'm done." I opened my banking app and canceled the monthly transfers in front of them. Mom gasped. Anna sobbed. "You're cutting us off." "Exactly," I said. "They wouldn't leave, so I called security." Watching my mother escorted out, yelling about ungrateful kids, felt like a twisted sitcom. The harassment escalated for weeks. Calls from unknown numbers, blocked emails flooding my website. Anna posted an anonymous TikTok claiming her sister hoarded wealth while her family suffered. It went viral. Even a distant cousin's yoga instructor messaged me on LinkedIn, saying, "Family is everything, you should be ashamed." Then Mom pulled her final card. She called Grandma Carol, my only unconditionally loving relative. At 87, Grandma's razor sharp. She's the one who let me sort her jewelry as a kid, sparking my career. When Mom spun her sob story, Grandma said, "Good for Julia, she succeeded on her own terms." Legend. Mom didn't speak to her for 2 months. I moved to a new home with top-tier security, not out of paranoia, but because I'm worth protecting. My business is thriving. My story drew more elite clients who value discretion. Anna, she launched an Instagram jewelry authentication business 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, posting a fake Cartier bracelet with captions about grit and grace. I could have called her out. Instead, I blocked her. 6 months post-Thanksgiving, I'm free. There's peace in realizing I was never truly loved for me, just valued for what I could offer. I used to dream of being seen for my mind, my work, my story. Now strangers, clients, colleagues, employees see me more clearly than my family ever did. I've cut contact, had my lawyer send a notice threatening legal action if the harassment continues. Mom's last voicemail. "We don't want your money, we're praying for your soul." Anna's still posting victim rants like, "Some measure success in dollars, others in loyalty." Or my favorite, "Imagine hiding wealth from your family." The irony's rich. She copied my website's design and blog content for her business. It collapsed in 6 weeks after she misidentified a replica brooch as a rare antique. I anonymously tipped off the state certification board, and her account was suspended for fraud. She blamed jealous haters. I stayed silent. Revenge doesn't need a spotlight. My new home is thoughtful, safe, warm. We're expanding to London this year, and I closed a deal worth more than my parents' entire net worth. Yet I'm happiest at 2 a.m., studying a 1920s brooch's engravings, grinning like a kid. I didn't build this for spite or to prove anything. I built it for the 8-year-old me, packing a bag for every sneeze, memorizing jewelry guides to impress Grandma, clapping for herself when no one else would. That girl deserved better, so I made it happen. My Sundays are now peaceful. No awkward dinners, no interruptions, just me cooking, cataloging, or rewatching Pride and Prejudice. Last week I taught Megan, now my head authenticator, how to spot a fake French platinum setting. She cried when I gave her the new office key, saying, "No one's ever believed in me like this." I realized I never had a me at her age. Now I get to be that for someone else. That's worth more than my bank account. I still see Grandma Carol. She visited, and we cataloged a 300-piece estate collection over tea and shortbread, like when I was 10. Before leaving, she hugged me and said, "You broke the cycle, sweetheart." I cried for the first time in months. She's right. I didn't just escape, I shattered it. No more proving myself, no more shrinking. I own my story. Do I regret it? Not a bit. Not the secrecy, not the silence, not the Thanksgiving chaos. When Anna flipped my laptop expecting to shame me, she set me free. Edit, Grandma Carol's thriving. She sent me a vintage locket from a Maine estate sale with a note. "For the girl who finds treasure in dust." I cried again. "And Anna, if you're reading this, and you probably are, that Cartier bracelet in your latest post. Fake. Just like your tears." Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.